The Zeuantheri were not a species accustomed to failure. For millennia, their hive-minded intellect and technological supremacy had allowed them to dominate the galaxy, assimilating or annihilating every civilization they encountered. Their ships, sleek and silent, glided through the void like shadows, their presence heralding the end of worlds. Yet, as their fleet approached the small blue planet known as Earth, something unusual happened. They hesitated. Primitive, his Zeuantheri High Commander Velar, her voice a chorus of synthesized tones. She stood aboard the flagship Eclipse, her crystalline form shimmering under the cold light of the command deck. Their technology is rudimentary, their society fractured. Why does the collective deem this world a threat? Her second-in-command, a stoic drone named Kael'thas, projected a holographic scan of Earth's surface. Initial scans reveal an anomaly buried deep within the planet's crust. Energy signatures suggest it is of ancient origin, predating even the earliest Zeuantheri records. Velar's multifaceted eyes narrowed. A relic? From whom? Unknown, Kael'thas replied, but its design bears peculiarities. It appears to be a defense mechanism, long dormant. A ripple of curiosity passed through the hive mind. The Zeuantheri thrived on knowledge, and the idea of an unknown technology intrigued them. Activate it, Velar commanded. Let us see what these primitives have left behind. Deep within Earth's crust, the artifact stirred. It was a massive structure, a labyrinth of circuits and conduits, its design both alien and eerily familiar. As the Zeuantheri's activation signal reached it, the artifact hummed to life, its systems booting up after eons of silence. In a hidden chamber, for cryopods hissed open, releasing clouds of freezing vapor. From within emerged the human guardians, their bodies enhanced by forgotten science, their minds sharp despite the passage of time. Commander Elena Ironheart Vasquez was the first to rise, her cybernetic arm whirring as she flexed her fingers. Her dark eyes scanned the chamber, taking in the flickering lights and the faint tremors shaking the walls. "Well," she muttered, her voice dry and gravelly, "this is a hell of a wake-up call." Behind her, Dr. Rajesh Patch Patel stumbled out of his pod, his glasses askew and his lab coat wrinkled. "Fascinating," he murmured, tapping a device on his wrist. The stasis field held perfectly. No cellular decay, no neural degradation. Whoever designed this system was a genius. Or just really paranoid, said Lunab Dreamer Nakamura, her voice soft but laced with amusement. She stepped out of her pod with the grace of a dancer, her long black hair cascading over her shoulders. Her eyes, sharp and observant, darted around the room, already piecing together the situation. Something triggered the awakening. Something big. Big? I was hoping for a nap, grumbled Jack's wildcard O'Connor, the last to emerge. His rugged face was split by a mischievous grin, and his cybernetic eye glowed faintly in the dim light. "But hey, if there's trouble, count me in." Elena crossed her arms, her expression a mix of exasperation and fondness. "Patch, status report. Luna, analyze the situation. Jax, try not to break anything." Patch immediately began tinkering with a console, his fingers flying over the controls. The artifact's power source is stable, but it's drawing energy from somewhere else. External signal, likely alien in origin. Luna closed her eyes, her mind racing through possibilities. If they triggered the artifact, they must have thought it harmless. That means they don't know what we are. Jax cracked his knuckles. Perfect. Let's give Em a surprise. On the Eclipse, Velar watched as the artifact's energy reading spiked. "What is happening?" she demanded. Kael'thas hesitated, a rare occurrence for a Zeuantheri. The artifact. It appears to be a containment system. It has released something. Before Velar could respond, an alarm blared. "Commander, multiple unidentified signatures on the planet's surface. They're moving fast." Velar's crystalline form flickered with irritation. "Deploy drones. Eliminate them. On the surface, The Guardians moved with purpose. Elena led the way, her cybernetic arm transforming into a plasma cannon. Patch followed, his device scanning for weaknesses in the bioengineering technology. Luna's keen eyes spotted the incoming drones, and she quickly devised a plan. Jax, distract them. Patch, disable their comms. Elena, take out the leader. Jax grinned. Distraction? That's my specialty. He sprinted toward the drones, his movements erratic and unpredictable. The drones struggled to track him, their hive mind algorithms unable to process his chaotic behavior. Patch worked furiously, his device emitting a pulse that disrupted the drones' communication. Got it. They're blind. Elena took aim, her plasma cannon humming with energy. With a single shot, she destroyed the lead drone, sending the others into disarray. Fall back, she ordered. We need to regroup and plan our next move. As the Guardians retreated to the safety of the artifact's chamber, Luna couldn't help but smile. They think we're primitive. They have no idea what they've awakened. Elena nodded, her expression grim but determined. Let's make sure they regret it. Standard for them, maybe. Jax O'Connor quipped, leaning against a crumbling wall with his usual nonchalance. His cybernetic eye glinted as he scanned the sky. But we're anything but standard. Patch Patel, hunched over a makeshift workstation, nodded in agreement. Their tech is advanced, but it's predictable. Hive mind tactics rely on uniformity. If we can disrupt their coordination, we can turn their strength into a weakness. Luna Nakamura, perched on a nearby rock, sketched rapidly in a notebook. Her fingers moved with precision, mapping out the terrain and the enemy's likely movements. They'll come from the east, she said, her voice calm but urgent. The terrain there is open, perfect for their drones. But if we funnel them into the canyon, we can pick them off one by one. Elena lowered the binoculars and turned to her team. Luna, you're with me. We'll set up the ambush. Patch, I need you to rig the canyon with whatever explosives you can scavenge. Jax. Distraction duty? Jax interrupted, a grin spreading across his face. I was hoping you'd say that. Elena rolled her eyes but couldn't suppress a small smile. Just don't get yourself killed. We need you in one piece. Ah, you do care, Jax said, feigning surprise. He grabbed a pair of grenades from a nearby crate and sprinted off before Elena could respond. The drones arrived first, their sleek forms gliding silently through the air. They moved in perfect unison, a testament to the Zuantheri's hive mind efficiency. Jax watched from his hiding spot, his heart pounding with anticipation. Showtime, he muttered. He leapt into the open, firing a burst of energy from his wrist-mounted blaster. The drones immediately shifted their focus, converging on him with mechanical precision. Jax darted through the ruins, his movements erratic and unpredictable. He slid under a collapsed beam, rolled to his feet, and tossed a grenade into the air. It detonated mid-flight, sending a shockwave that disrupted the drone's formation. Come on, you overgrown toasters, Jax shouted, taunting the drones as he led them toward the canyon. Is that all you've got? Meanwhile, Elena and Luna positioned themselves on opposite sides of the canyon's narrow entrance. Elena's plasma cannon hummed with energy, while Luna adjusted the settings on her holographic projector. Ready? Elena asked. Luna nodded. Let's give them a show. As the first wave of drones entered the canyon, Luna activated the projector. A massive hologram of a human guardian appeared, its form towering over the canyon walls. The drones hesitated, their hive mind algorithms struggling to process the unexpected threat. Elena seized the opportunity, firing a concentrated blast that obliterated the lead drone. The explosion triggered a chain reaction, sending shockwaves through the tightly packed formation. Patch, watching from a safe distance, activated the explosives he had planted along the canyon walls. The ground shook as the charges detonated, burying the remaining drones under tons of rubble. That should slow them down, he said, a note of satisfaction in his voice. The The Ziontheri ground troops arrived moments later, their armored forms marching in perfect synchronization. They moved with eerie precision, their movements dictated by the hive mind. But the Guardians were ready. Elena and Luna emerged from their hiding spots, their weapons blazing. Elena's plasma cannon cut through the enemy ranks with devastating efficiency, while Luna's holographic decoys confused and disoriented the troops. Patch provided cover fire, his improvised rifle delivering precise shots that disabled the Ziontheri's weapons. Jax, true to his nature, caused chaos wherever he went. He leapt onto the back of a Ziontheri soldier, using his cybernetic strength to rip off its helmet. "Hey, Patch," he shouted, holding up the helmet. "Think you can turn this into something useful?" Patch sighed but couldn't hide a smile. "Maybe later. Right now, focus on not getting shot." The battle raged on, the Guardians' adaptability and creativity giving them the upper hand. Despite their superior numbers and technology, the Ziontheri found themselves outmaneuvered at every turn. The hive mind, so efficient in its uniformity, struggled to cope with the unpredictability of their human opponents. As the last of the ground troops fell, Elena called for a retreat. "We bought ourselves some time," she said, her voice tinged with exhaustion. "But they'll be back, and they'll be ready." Luna nodded, her expression thoughtful. "We need to hit them where it hurts. Their hive mind relies on a central AI. If we can disrupt it, we can cripple their entire fleet." Patch adjusted his glasses, his mind already racing with possibilities. "I might be able to hack into their systems, but I'll need access to one of their ships." Jax grinned. "Sounds like a job for me." Elena crossed her arms, her gaze sweeping over her team. "This is going to be dangerous, but if we pull it off, we might just have a chance." The Guardians exchanged determined looks, their resolve unwavering. They had faced impossible odds before, and they had always found a way to prevail. This time would be no different. Elena Vasquez stood at the edge of a makeshift command center, her cybernetic arm folded across her chest as she addressed her team. "This is it," she said, her voice low but commanding. "We hit them hard, fast, and where it hurts. Patch, you with me? We'll infiltrate the mothership and disable their AI. Luna, Jax, you're on distraction duty. Keep them busy while we get the job done." Jax grinned, his cybernetic eye flickering with excitement. "Distraction duty? My favorite. Any chance I get to blow stuff up." "Try not to enjoy it too much," Luna said dryly, though her lips twitched with the hint of a smile. She adjusted the settings on her holographic projector, her fingers moving with practiced ease. "I'll create a diversion that should draw their attention long enough for you two to get inside." Patch, already buried in a pile of scavenged Ziontheri tech, nodded absently. "I've managed to reverse engineer their communication protocols. If we can get close enough, I should be able to hack into their systems and locate the AI core." Elena clapped him on the shoulder, snapping him out of his focus. "Good. But remember, this isn't a lab. Stay sharp out there." The plan began with Luna and Jax launching their diversion. Using a stolen Ziontheri shuttle, they approached the mothership from the opposite side of the fleet, drawing the attention of the hive mind. Luna activated her holographic projector, creating a swarm of phantom ships that appeared to be launching an attack. The Ziontheri, unable to distinguish the decoys from real threats, redirected their forces to intercept. "Think they bought it?" Jax asked, leaning back in the pilot's seat with his boots propped up on the console. Luna smirked. "They're predictable. Hive minds don't handle chaos well." As the Ziontheri fleet scrambled to respond, Elena and Patch approached the mothership in a cloaked shuttle. The ship's stealth systems, jury-rigged by Patch, allowed them to slip past the outer defenses undetected. They docked in a maintenance bay, the airlock hissing open to reveal a dimly lit corridor. "Stay close," Elena whispered, her plasma cannon at the ready. "And keep your comms silent unless absolutely necessary." Patch nodded, his device already scanning for the AI core's location. "This way," he murmured, leading Elena through the labyrinthine halls of the mothership. Meanwhile, Luna and Jax's diversion was reaching its peak. The holographic ships weaved through the Zywantari fleet, drawing fire and causing confusion. Jax, unable to resist, launched a few well-placed shots at the enemy's ships, his laughter echoing through the shuttle's cabin. "Did you see that?" he crowed, dodging a barrage of return fire. "I think I just took out one of their cruisers." Luna rolled her eyes but couldn't hide her amusement. "Focus, Jax. We need to keep them occupied, not start a one-man war." "Who says I can't do both?" Jax retorted, banking the shuttle sharply to avoid another attack. Back on the mothership, Elena and Patch reached the AI core's chamber. The room was vast, dominated by a towering structure of crystalline circuits and pulsating energy. At its center was the core itself, a glowing orb of light that seemed to pulse in time with the hive mind's thoughts. "That's it," Patch said, his voice tinged with awe. "The heart of their operation. If we can disable it, their entire fleet will be thrown into chaos." Elena nodded, her expression grim. "Do it. I'll cover you." As Patch began working on the core, Elena positioned herself at the entrance, her plasma cannon trained on the door. It wasn't long before the Zywantari realized what was happening. A squad of elite guards burst into the chamber, their weapons raised. "Patch, hurry," Elena shouted, firing a blast that took out the lead guard. The others returned fire, their energy beams scorching the walls and floor. Patch's fingers flew over his device, his brow furrowed in concentration. "Almost there, just need to bypass the final security protocol." Elena ducked behind a console, returning fire as the guards advanced. "Patch, now would be a good time." "Got it," Patch exclaimed, slamming a button on his device. The core's light flickered, then dimmed as the hive mind's connection was severed. The guards faltered, their movements becoming sluggish and uncoordinated. Elena seized the opportunity, taking out the remaining guards with precise shots. "Let's get out of here before they regroup," she said, grabbing Patch by the arm. As Elena and Patch made their escape, Luna and Jax's shuttle came under heavy fire. The Zywantari, realizing they had been deceived, redirected their attention to the real threat. "Time to go," Luna shouted, her hands flying over the controls. Jax, still grinning, fired one last shot before banking the shuttle away from the mothership. "That was fun. Let's do it again sometime." Luna shook her head, but her smile betrayed her amusement. "Let's just hope Elena and Patch made it out alive." "They're retreating," Luna Nakamura reported, her voice calm but tinged with relief. She held a holographic display in her hands, showing the Zywantari ships pulling back from Earth orbit. For now," Elena echoed, her tone firm. "But they'll regroup. The hive mind isn't gone, just disrupted. We need to make sure they don't come back." Patch Patel, seated on a crate with his device in hand, nodded in agreement. The AI core was just one node. If they establish a new one, they'll be back at full strength. We need to hit them while they're weak. Jax O'Connor, leaning against a broken wall with his usual nonchalance, grinned. "So, what's the plan? Another suicide mission? Count me in." Elena shot him a look but couldn't suppress a small smile. "Not quite. This time, we hit them where it hurts, their command structure. If we can take out their leadership, the hive mind will collapse entirely." Luna's eyes lit up. "The Eclipse. It's their flagship. If we destroy it, the rest of the fleet will fall into chaos." Patch adjusted his glasses, his fingers already flying over his device. "I can rig a pulse bomb to disrupt their systems. But we'll need to get it on board." Elena crossed her arms, her gaze sweeping over her team. "Then that's what we'll do. Luna, you're with me. Patch, get that bomb ready. Jax." "Distraction duty?" Jax interrupted, his grin widening. "I was hoping you'd say that." Elena rolled her eyes. "Just try not to get yourself killed. The plan was set in motion within hours." Using a salvaged Zhuanthari shuttle, Elena and Luna approached the Eclipse under the cover of stealth. The ship's defenses, still reeling from the loss of the AI, were sluggish and uncoordinated. They docked in a maintenance bay, the airlock hissing open to reveal a dimly lit corridor. "Stay close," Elena whispered, her plasma cannon at the ready. "We don't know what's waiting for us." Luna nodded, her holographic projector humming softly. "I'll create decoys if we run into trouble." Meanwhile, Jax and Patch launched their diversion. Using a modified Zhuanthari drone, Jax flew straight into the heart of the fleet, his laughter echoing over the comms as he dodged enemy fire. "Come on, you overgrown toasters," he taunted, firing a barrage of shots that sent the Zhuanthari ship scrambling. Patch, monitoring the chaos from the surface, shook his head. "He's going to get himself killed one of these days." "Not today," Elena replied over the comms. "Patch, how's the bomb coming?" "Almost ready," Patch said, his fingers flying over his device. "Just need a few more adjustments." On the Eclipse, Elena and Luna moved swiftly through the ship's corridors, their movements precise and deliberate. They encountered little resistance. The Zhuanthari, still reeling from the loss of their AI, were slow to respond. When they did, Luna's holographic decoys proved invaluable, drawing the enemy's attention while Elena and Luna slipped past unnoticed. They reached the bridge without incident, the doors sliding open to reveal a vast chamber dominated by a towering holographic display. At its center stood High Commander Velar, her crystalline form flickering with frustration. "You," she hissed, her voice a chorus of synthesized tones. "You are the ones who disrupted the hive mind." Elena raised her plasma cannon, her expression cold. "And we're not done yet." Velar's eyes narrowed. "You think you can defeat us? You are but insects, scurrying in the shadow of our greatness." "Insects?" Elena repeated, a smirk tugging at her lips. "Funny. I was about to say the same thing about you." Before Velar could respond, Luna activated her holographic projector, creating a swarm of phantom guardians that filled the room. The Zhuanthari guards, already disoriented, opened fire on the decoys, their shots passing harmlessly through the illusions. Elena seized the opportunity, firing a concentrated blast that struck Velar square in the chest. The High Commander staggered, her crystalline form cracking under the force of the attack. "You cannot win," she gasped, her voice faltering. "We already have," Elena replied, firing a final shot that shattered Velar into 1,000 pieces. With the High Commander defeated, the Eclipse's systems began to fail. Patch's pulse bomb, delivered via a remote-controlled drone, detonated in the ship's core, sending a shockwave through the entire fleet. The Zhuanthari ships, now leaderless and without direction, began to retreat, their once formidable formation dissolving into chaos. On the surface, the Guardians watched as the Zhuanthari fleet disappeared into the void, their victory complete. Jax let out a whoop of triumph, punching the air with his fist. "We did it. I told you we would." Luna shook her head, but her smile betrayed her amusement. "You also said we'd all be dead by now." "Details," Jack said with a dismissive wave. Patch, ever the pragmatist, adjusted his glasses. "They'll be back. Eventually. But for now, we've bought ourselves some time." Elena crossed her arms, her gaze sweeping over her team. "We've done more than that. We've shown them what humanity is capable of, and if they come back, we'll be ready."